All right, welcome to your Gourd Vibes Only kit. This kit has everything you need to make this hoop. So let's go over everything that you have in your kit. You're going to have a 6-inch embroidery hoop. You'll have a piece of twine that is used to put around the back of the hoop if you choose to back your hoop this way. You'll have a little bag with the rose gold beads needed for this pattern. Another little bag that will have 3 needles in it. These 3 needles, one of them is going to be a beading needle, so it'll have a really tiny eye and it'll be able to fit through these beads. And then one that is a size 5, which has kind of a medium or smaller sized eye, and then one that looks a little bit more like a tapestry needle. It'll have a bit of a larger eye that you should more easily be able to fit 6 of your strands through. So we only use the beading needle when we're working with the beading. If we're working with between 1 and 3 strands, usually it's going to be 3. I like to use the size 5 needle. And if we're working with 4 to 6, usually it's going to be 6. We are going to work with this needle that has the larger eye. If you're able to fit all 6 strands through the size 5, you can definitely just use this needle, but I just wanted to give you a bigger needle too, just in case. You have a bag with all full skeins of every color that you need for this. There's 2 of the color 301, since we use pretty much a full one of these to color in the pumpkin. So I provided you 2 just in case you needed a little extra. And then also in the bag, there's going to be a little bobbin wound with some of the rose gold diamante thread that we use for part of this project. You'll also have 2 pieces of this blush peachy cotton linen fabric. This is a Robert Kaufman Essex cotton linen blend. And then you have a colorful piece of fabric that you'll use to back your hoop at the end. I like to work with 2 layers of fabric just because you can get it a little bit tighter in your hoop and it's nicer to stitch on. Lastly, you're either going to have, depending on what you chose with your purchase, a stick and stitch version of the pattern, which you will peel off, stick on, and then wash away when you're done, or it will come with a cardstock printout of the pattern plus the Pilot Frixion heat erasable pen that you can use if you chose to trace your pattern. So those are all of the things that come in your kit. The only thing that doesn't come in your kit that you might need would be a pair of embroidery scissors, which I highly recommend getting if you want to get into embroidery. You can obviously just use regular scissors too, but these are great. And then if you want to do your backing the way that I do, you're going to need some strong glue or a hot glue gun to glue this twine around the back. Everything else is included, and now we will get to transferring your pattern. All right, so if you are going to trace to transfer your pattern, you're going to want to use a Pilot Frixion heat erasable pen, and you're going to need some type of light source. So this is just a little $20 light box I got from Amazon. It works really well. There are light pad apps on the iPad that you can use so that your screen doesn't move around, and then, or you can just use a window. So I put a couple pieces of tape down and I put my pattern on here, and then I went ahead and hooped up just 1 layer of my fabric. So your kit comes with 2 layers for stitching, but we're just going to put 1 layer in while we trace. And I'm going to flip it over so that it's laying flat on top of the pattern, and we're going to start tracing. So I'm just going to hold it down and I'm going to pick a place to start. I'm going to start with the little stem right here, and I'm just going to trace all the way around this pattern. I like to do almost like I'm coloring short little, zoom in just a little bit for you here. short little strokes with the pen. Since the fabric is kind of textured, that'll just help you get the lines a little bit neater than trying to pull long little pen strokes there. So you're just gonna trace your whole pattern this way. Every line you see on the pattern, you'll go ahead and trace as well. And then when you're done, I will show you how to re-hoop it. So now that I have my pattern all drawn out, I'm going to take it out of the hoop. And I'm going to re-hoop it the other way with the second layer underneath it. So I've got my 2 layers here, and I will hoop those the correct way. So I'm putting the inner ring underneath. Just centering it around and then tightening the screw on the top and pulling all of the sides till they are nice and tight. Now we are ready to stitch. Okay, if you don't want to do the tracing method, the other method for stitching is to use the stick and stitch template. So you're going to take both layers of your fabric, lay them over the hoop, and go ahead and hoop them up. So I'm putting the outer ring down over the fabric and over the inner ring. I'm going to loosen that up a little bit more so it fits down. There we go. So I'm going to get that nice and tight. It's already actually pretty tight. And I'm going to pull any excess fabric all the way around each edge. This one's already pretty tight because of the 2 layers of fabric, so pretty good to go here. And then you can take your piece of stick and stitch paper, gently peel it off, and just lay it down on top of the fabric. And then just press it down. And you're ready to stitch. If you want to trim off a little bit of these edges, you can. And then we're ready to go.